Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had a full argument with someone who wasn't there? Maybe it was this morning, maybe yesterday. Maybe you just did it before you started watching this video. You're in the shower, or driving, or lying in bed, and suddenly, you're having a full conversation with someone who isn't there. You say the perfect thing, they fire back, you counter, you win, you feel a rush of victory. Then you realize you just spent 15 minutes fighting an imaginary person, and somehow, you're exhausted. You've done this. Everyone I know has done this. Every single person on this planet has rehearsed an argument, a conversation, or a speech in their head. And for years, I thought it was weird for this. I'd catch myself mid-argument, in the shower, gesturing with my hands, and I'd feel this wave of embarrassment, like someone was watching. Like I was performance art for nobody. But then I started paying attention, and what I found changed how I think about those imaginary arguments forever. First, let's talk about why your brain does this. It's not because you're lonely or crazy, it's because your brain is a prediction machine. Think about it. Every conversation you have, your brain is guessing what the other person will say next. It's predicting, it's preparing, it's making sure you're not caught off guard. When you're alone, with no real conversation happening, your brain still wants to practice. It creates a fake conversation, an argument, a difficult talk, a speech, and runs through it. This is called social simulation. It's exactly like a flight simulator. Pilots practice emergencies in a simulator so they don't crash in real life. Your brain practices arguments in a simulator so you don't freeze when your uncle brings up politics at dinner. You're not crazy, you're training. Now, here's the part that blew my mind. There's a whole network in your brain dedicated to this. It's called the default mode network, the same system that lights up when you're daydreaming, mind wandering, or taking a shower. When you're not focused on a task, your DMing kicks in, and one of its favorite activities is running social simulations. It's like your brain's internal theater, and you're the writer, director, and lead actor. That's why these arguments always happen in the shower, or while driving, or right before sleep. Your brain has nothing else to do, so it puts on a show. But here's where it gets really interesting. Why do you sometimes lose the imaginary argument? You've done this too. You're rehearsing, and suddenly in your head, the other person says something that stumps you. You can't think of a comeback, you lose, in your own head. And then you feel weirdly bad, like you lost a real argument. Why would your brain do that too? Itself, because your brain isn't just rehearsing victory, it's also rehearsing failure. Think about it. If you only rehearse winning, you'd be completely unprepared for a real argument where someone actually pushes back. Your brain is stress testing you. It's asking, what if they say this? What if they catch you off guard? What if you don't have an answer? By imagining losing, your brain is forcing you to think of new responses. It's making you stronger. It's like a vaccine, a tiny dose of defeat so the real thing doesn't destroy you. I remember one imaginary argument I had with my old boss. In my head, she said something so sharp that I had no response. I sat in my car, stumped. And then I thought, okay, what would I actually say? I spent 10 minutes crafting a response. That conversation never happened. But I felt more confident at work for weeks. Because my brain had done its homework. Now, let me tell you about the dark side. Sometimes the imaginary arguments aren't preparation, they're rumination. You replay an old argument over and over, trying to win it this time. And you never do. That's not training. That's your brain stuck in a loop. How do you know the difference? Simple. If the argument is about something that might happen in the future, it's preparation. If it's about something that already happened and can't change, it's rumination. Preparation is helpful, rumination is not. So what can you do? First, don't hate yourself for having imaginary arguments. They're normal. They're healthy. They're a sign that your brain cares about your social life. Second, notice when you're rehearsing something that will never happen. If the person isn't in your life anymore, or the situation is impossible, gently redirect. Say to yourself, thanks for trying to help, brain, but I don't need this one. Third, if you're losing the same argument over and over, write down the comeback you wish you had. Then let it go. Your brain just wants to close the loop. Writing closes it. And finally, embrace the weirdness. The next time you're caught mid-argument in your shower, just smile. You're not crazy. You're a pilot running a simulation. You're getting ready for a takeoff. That's the weird thing I learned today. Hey, if you've ever rehearsed an argument in your head and won or lost, you're not alone. And if you want more weird explanations for everyday brain glitches, hit subscribe. I read the papers so you don't have to. No self-help nonsense. Just curiosity and a little bit of imagination. Thanks for listening. Now go win that imaginary argument, or lose. Either way, your brain is doing its job. See you next time. Before you go, I want to ask you something. If this story made you feel seen, or if you've ever had a full argument with someone who wasn't there, then you're my kind of person, and I'd love to have you on this journey with me. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now. Tap the bell icon so you never miss a story. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And share it with your friends. Let's discover the weirdness of the human brain together. See you next time. Why statue I read the papers so you don't have to.